let's do the news at noon with Josh.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, no Ray today. Mike, you talked about this guy earlier, though. And no, not Ray's leg hair. Nick Castellanos called him a bit of an odd fellow. And, well, he was asked by, let me get this right. The young man named Alex Tantum with MLB Fits asked Nick Castellanos what he would do if he would be the commissioner of baseball for one day. This was Casty's answer.
If you were commissioner for a day, what would you change about the game?
I would change that ownership doesn't have any severe consequences for losing for an extended period of time. You know, so if we're in the big leagues and we don't perform well, we get demoted or cut. If their organization didn't perform well, somebody else would have an opportunity to buy it from them. You know, keep it to where nobody can really own the game of baseball because the game is above true ownership. But that would never happen.
What do you think, Mike?
It's actually a very thoughtful answer. I wasn't expecting that to come out of it. It actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, it makes sense from a baseball perspective, but the owners, they're businessmen.
Yeah,
they're not making money.
They're not going to be detached from their own franchise. But I think what he's saying is that you need to be compelled to spend.
Yes,
and there are a lot of teams that, especially in Pittsburgh, where they totally ignore that part. I think that's where he should have made it about the Pittsburgh Pirates, basically.
Castellanos, I think he grew up in Miami, so I wonder if that's kind of like a Marlins thing as well.
Yeah, it could be a Marlins thing too.
Yeah, so he's used to that. But
that's actually a well-reasoned closing argument by Nick Castellanos, which I did not expect. It almost sounds un-Nick-like, like somebody put a voice box in him.
See, I think that's typical Nick Castellanos, right?
Really?
I don't think he thought. I think you're giving him too much credit for how much he thought about it.
Really?
I think he's just.
I don't think he thought about it, but I think what came off the top of his head made some decent sense.
It never happened, though.
I give him high marks for that. But you're down on. You don't want to find a way to like Castellanos.
I know. I got a problem.
Yeah, I felt the same way. But like right now, it's Nick's world. What else you got, Josh?
All right, so, all these, man on the street getting people excited for the football season. This was in Las Vegas. A sports reporter was going around saying, it goes to a kid. What are you excited about for the Raiders? Are they going to win the Super Bowl? This is what this kid said the Raiders need to do this season to have a good year.
How are you feeling with the team this year?
We're not going to the Super Bowl. I already know it.
We got a realistic Raiders fan here. This is odd. This is the first interview I've ever had like this. The Super Bowl chances are not good. But what is it going to take for the Raiders to have a successful season, you think?
Not to get arrested.
Okay. That's definitely an interesting one. I would agree with that.
This kid's a future star, man. He goes into journalism. He's like a take no prisoners guy.
Yeah, and he also is a realist, understanding that when Gardner Minshew's your starting quarterback, you're probably not going anywhere.
Well, that's what I mean. A kid that young with that kind of wisdom and foresight, he's a future journalist.
Don't get arrested. Well, I guess he grew up with, unfortunately, Henry Ruggs was with the Raiders, right?
That's a product of his father saying that kind of stuff, and a kid just picks up on it.
It's probably.
Like a cynical father about the Raiders franchise.
His father's next to him in the video. He looks a little shocked.
Oh, really?
This kid, I think this is from the kid.
Well, this kid's educated. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, the whole Ruggs situation.
I didn't hit that plateau until I saw George McGinnis smoke a cigarette at a Sixers practice.
I know, most kids.
And then I got cynical.
Every year you're thinking you got a shot.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Josh, the last one. What do you got?
All right, it's the last weekend we're going into without NFL football. So Scott Hansen ran into someone at a grocery store, I believe, and this was Scott Hansen's experience.
Grocery store one time, putting the cart back, right? I'm one of those guys. I'm a good guy. Put the cart back. Good. Guy from like 2 or 3 parking spots over, right in the parking lot, goes, "Give it to me. Give it to me." And I look at him and I'm like, ha! 7 hours of commercial-free football start now. And he goes, yes! He didn't even say hi or anything. He got back into his car and he went.
That's interesting.
What's more interesting?
I thought he was saying, give me the cart.
No, he wanted the 7 hours. You put the cart back, Mike?
Absolutely. And I'll walk cross country to do it.
So I'm with you. However, sometimes when I'm doing it, I wonder, am I taking a job away from somebody because there's cart collectors?
Oh, you got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. They collect the carts from where you're supposed to put it back.
Listen.
They don't collect the carts from random spots.
If we make it too easy, I bring it back, but I do wonder sometimes.
Are you telling me that there are some times when you don't bring it back? Are you confessing?
I always bring it back. I actually enjoy. You know what I enjoy to do? I enjoy getting like a little bit close, but then wheeling it to see if I could make it. You know what I'm talking about?
I slam it into the. Yeah,
I like
do that.
throwing it in.
Too. In fact, I park. A lot of people make the mistake of parking as close to the grocery store as they can. I park as close to the cart return as I can.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Not
I'm
dangerous.
always afraid someone's going to hit my car with a car.
I'm not like in the rack. I'm parking it like close, so I don't have to make the trip.
So you plan for the way out, not the way in.
I plan for the way out and not
Smart.
the way in.
That's second level thinking right there,
definitely
Josh.
Second level thinking. And I even did that when I had a handicapped placard.
You had a handicap placard?
I had a half knee replacement. They give you're eligible for a handicap placard, temporary.
Interesting.
After you have that kind of surgery.
Yeah, we usually park far away because my wife's big on, she's a personal trainer, so she's big on steps. You got to get your steps in. So we'll park far away and get the steps. That's why we do
You're
it.
never ever going to turn into a fat guy, are you? You're married to a physical therapist.
Personal trainer. She's not
personal trainer.
That's the goal. Yeah. Dude, when I was in college, I was like 245. I was a meathead. I had to thin down a little bit.
She checking you out all the time, saying, hey, yeah, you got a couple pounds.
She loves me for me. Doesn't matter. Look at this face. She loves me anyway.
In other words, she loves a blank canvas.